Breaking news in the tax evasion case against Hunter Biden. Just minutes before jury selection was set to begin in a courtroom in Los Angeles today, the trial itself was thrown into uncertainty when Biden's lawyer said that a new plea was coming, stunning prosecutors and, frankly, just sending the court into recess. Hunter Biden arrived in court earlier. You see him there holding his wife Melissa Cohen's hand, but instead of going actually into the courtroom, he went into a private meeting with the judge. Joining me now, NBC News investigative correspondent Tom Winter, MSNBC legal analyst Catherine Christian is back with us. Tom, we're trying to figure out, we were in the very short commercial break, what's going on here? What's the strategy?
Yeah, I think I'm going to defer to Catherine on this strategy. But as far as what's going on here, we are in this recess. We're in this period of limbo. We heard from the federal prosecutors from the special counsel's office saying, hey, we just found out about this, Judge.
They didn't know it was coming.
They didn't know it was coming this morning. And they said, look, now we've got to try to figure out on our end exactly what we want to do with this, because normally this does move as a well, first off, there's nothing normal about this. I have never covered an Alford plea, and I've covered, as you know, an awful lot of cases. So there's the idea that this is a potential plea is very unusual.
So I just want to make sure people who haven't been watching earlier,
right.
You're saying, I'm not guilty, but I'll say this is essentially, I did it, but
to eventually push towards a sentencing. You want to avoid responsibility for the conduct that's been charged in the indictment. And that's what the attempt is here. But typically that moves forward all as part of a package. And just to give you a sense of it, this is from the U.S. Attorney's Manual. So this is the guidebook, the handbook, if I was a federal prosecutor. They have to go to the Assistant Attorney General responsible for the subject matter. So that would be the head of the tax division, or the Associate Attorney General, or the Deputy Attorney General of the United States, or the Attorney General himself or herself to get approval if they were to move forward on this with federal prosecutors in tow. But that's not the case here. The federal prosecutors say they didn't know about this until they got to court this morning. So now the whole thing is in jeopardy. And we'll have to see, one, if they come to any sort of agreement. That's federal prosecutors and Hunter Biden's attorneys, whether they come to any sort of agreement, whether or not this is going to be accepted by the bosses at the Justice Department and the headquarters of the Justice Department, and then whether or not the judge is going to accept this, and then what is the structure in terms of a sentence. So I think we've got a long way to go here. It's like I said, it's very unusual. It is certainly a tactic if you are trying not to admit responsibility and you don't want to go through this trial. And as you and I have talked about previously, the types of details that might be offered by witnesses at this trial would certainly be, I think, objectively very embarrassing for the son of the President of the United States, and something that would be talked about definitely in less than 70 days, less than 60 days until an election. So
although the fact that he's no longer the nominee may make a little difference, but clearly Hunter Biden wants this done.
Right.
Having said that, Catherine, 43 minutes, 42 minutes until they're supposed to come back in court. And that's an awful lot of ifs. What's likely to happen and what has to be decided here?
Well, the judge, I think it's a tactic so they wouldn't start jury selection today. And the judge could just nip that in the bud and say to the prosecutor, is there any possibility that you would accept this? I would think they would probably say no. And the judge would say, let's move to jury selection. It's probably also a tactic to say, you know, a year ago, you gave my client 2 misdemeanors and a promise of probation. Let's just do that again. But it's not very courteous, clearly. And if I was the prosecution, it's basically being sandbagged. That's a conversation you have before you go to court.
So that's what I'm trying to figure out here. I mean, look, Hunter Biden has seen a plea deal fall apart before. We know this, right? But any reason to think that this would be a stronger move?
I can't imagine.
You could have said yes at that time. Then you come back and say, oops.
It's not a stronger move. The strongest move would be before this to sort of plead your case and say, can we please just go back to that original plea? Not surprise, he wants to do an Alford plea, which basically is, I'm not guilty, but the evidence is so strong, I'm afraid to go to trial and I'll lose.
And one other thing, if in fact prosecutors agree with this idea of an Alford plea, they are required, according to the Justice Department manual, to then lay out for the court all the reasons why at trial the conduct that's been charged in this case case would have been proved, and they have to do it pretty strongly according to the manual. Now, that's not law. It's not something that they necessarily have to do, but I would imagine in this case in particular, the special counsel's office would very much like to show their homework on how they eventually came up with this indictment. So it's not as if this isn't going to be read into the record in some way, shape, or form. We'll have to see what's going on. You mentioned the word jury. Yes, the jury is there, and it's our reporting from our team that's at court that, in fact, the jury is still sitting there. So they haven't been called yet for their questioning, for their voir dire, and so that is still something that is going on. And so if you're the jury, I'm guessing you're wondering what's the delay here.
Yeah, what's going on? We've got to wrap this.
They're not in the loop.
We've got to wrap this up, but I want to ask, if they did indeed do that and they laid out their case, is it likely to have significantly more than the already pretty detailed, sordid, certainly uncomfortable for the family details that we already know?
I would say the indictment is pretty thorough. I mean, with all of the, salacious details. So I don't know how much more detailed it would be.
Catherine Christian, Tom Winter. We shall see what happens 40 minutes from now. Thank you.
Got it.